Another one of my live stream lectures. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. My YouTube channel truly will not be where it's at today without all my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is stop trying to figure out YouTube. And what I mean by that is in terms of analytics, the behind the scene stuff that we will never be privy to in terms of how YouTube things. And because, for the main reason is, as a content creator, we have no control of YouTube. They control YouTube. YouTube controls YouTube. As a content creator, what we really need to focus on in terms of what we can control. And some of the things we can control in terms of our published content, rather we want to publish a short or live stream, a video upload, we can control in terms of what topic we want to present in our published content. We can control things like that. We can control in terms of what time of the day we want to publish content. As a content creator, as I have a life outside of YouTube, so there's a certain time where I earmark where I'm going to publish my content and move on with the rest of my day. Those are the things as a content creator that we should be focusing on, is everything that we can control, real talk. Because when you get caught up in, so focusing on the YouTube analytics and views and watch hours, and rather not your published content go viral, or if your channels monetize, how much revenue you make month after month, you have no control of none of that. In a lot of times when as a content creator, if you get so focused on that, it will easily veer you off from the mission, goals, and objective of your channel as a content creator, in that business model, embracing that business model. Because in reality, I tell everybody, I don't have time to worry about YouTube, because I can't control YouTube. I'm focusing on what I do as a content creator in maintaining my balance, just like I'm doing this live stream lecture right now, and the Spirit guided me to lecture on this specific topic. Is once I deliver my information as a content creator, I really do look forward to deplugging, real talk, and moving on with the rest of my evening, because I understand and I embrace the fact that there is a difference between the social media persona and my real life persona. It is separate and distinct, real talk. And as soon as you can really embrace that and understand that, that helps me as a content creator focus on what I got to do outside of YouTube, or it helps me focus on what I got to do as a content creator when I do, or sometimes depending on the lectures I do, I'm doing preparation behind the scene before I get in front of this camera in terms of certain topics, rather on researching certain topics, real talk, because I embrace that business model. So I'm not going to have time either spend time worrying about things that I have no control over in relation to YouTube, rather it's analytics or views or watch hours, or rather in terms of how much revenue I make as a content creator. January of 2026, I make 3 years my channel has been monetized. I don't worry about none of that. I really don't. Because whatever amount of money I make on a monthly basis from YouTube, here in this world, my livelihood is not based off a YouTube check in any shape, form, or fashion. I got a couple of retirement checks. I still generate money in my company. So my livelihood is not based off YouTube. I focus on delivering thought-provoking, educational, inspiring, uplifting, useful, published content to the world, real talk. So whatever money I make or don't make as a content creator, I truly just see that as another stream of income, because there's power in having multiple streams of income. But make no mistake, I don't base my livelihood off any YouTube income that I make. I reinvest that money, real talk. So it's just so important, as a content creator, focus on what you do have control on, and that's publishing your content, whether it's a short video upload, a live stream, or a live stream lecture. Focus on what research you may have to do in terms of behind a certain topic. As a content creator, you have control of that. Focus on what time, blocking out whatever time you want to publish content. As a content creator, you control that. I will hope you can control your schedule in all of the things that you can control versus on what you cannot control in the world of YouTube. Because in reality, YouTube, they can change these community guidelines whenever they want to. You violate these community guidelines as a content creator, YouTube can shut your behind down. Yeah, they can do that because it's their platform, real talk. So again, share this information. I've been wanting to touch bases on this topic for a while now, in terms of stop focusing on what you cannot control as a content creator, and utilize your time and energy on things that you can control as a content creator. So that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.